Hi guys, how are you all today evening? Good evening. Today I'll talk about another verse from Ashtavakra Gita. In this verse, Ashtavakra tells Raja Janaka and every average living entity what has a form is unreal. What is without a form is real, eternal, blissful, and sublime. What has no form is the self. So instead of thinking about the form and its falsehood, you should abide in consciousness which is formless and be happy. What does this simple verse mean? Formless self. For a minute, we shall take a detour from Ashtavakra Gita and go to Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord says, the super soul and the soul are spiritual, and after that, whatever comes is material. The Ashtavakra Gita says that there is no soul and no super soul. Both of them have merged into self. At the same time, Bhagavad Gita says you cannot become Brahman, you are Brahman. Brahman is Brahma Jyoti, the spiritual effulgence. Now, the spiritual effulgence, soul, super soul, self, etc. exist and they are eternal, but they cannot be seen or touched. At the same time, that which has a form can be seen and touched. Let us take a verse from Bhagavad Gita where Lord says, super soul is the eternal flame and the soul is the spark from that eternal flame. When the spark tries to lord it over material nature, then it gets caught in four layers of body-mind complex. These layers are the causal intelligence, the astral mind, the etheric senses, and the gross body. There is one more thing which is called false ego. Now, false ego plus other elements plus causal intelligence, astral mind, etheric senses, and the gross body together make this mind body complex which has a form. This is exactly like some thread is woven into a piece of cloth. Some mud is made into an earthen pot. Some gold is made into jewelry. When the thread from the cloth is removed, only the thread remains, the cloth has vanished. When the jewelry is melted, only gold remains, the jewelry has vanished. When the earthen pot is broken, only mud remains. The other things have vanished. Similarly, when this mind body complex vanishes, only the self remains. This mind body complex, along with elements and ego, causal intelligence, mind, astral mind, etc., there are five gross elements that make the etheric body and the gross body. The etheric body is made up of ether. It has five subtle senses. They are taste, touch, smell, hearing, and sight. The gross body is made up of air, fire, water, and earth. This has five sense organs that give an outlet into to the etheric senses. These sense organs are two eyes for sight, two ears for hearing, one nose for smelling, one tongue for taste, and the skin for touch. When there is a form, it is made up of so many elements. When this gross body or this body mind complex is destroyed, what happens is that all the elements go back to their original state of unmanifested situation. That is, ego vanishes, causal intelligence goes, mind goes, senses vanish, and the four elements, that is, air, fire, water, and earth, also join their respective sources. This remains like that till they come back again together to form another living entity. Hence, Ashtavakra says that because these elements join together again and again and again and give birth to several living entities, hence they are unreal. That is, they don't belong to one particular living entity. On the other hand, soul, which is invisible, it belongs to a particular living entity and it remains with that living entity for eternal time. It goes from birth to birth to birth and passes through several deaths before the particular soul realizes its true self and goes back to super soul after realizing the futility of trying to lord it over material nature. Lord Krishna has openly said, while the soul is my superior spiritual energy, the material world is my inferior energy. Both are energies of the super soul, hence, both are very powerful. If the soul, which is superior to material energy, tries to lord it over material energy, God intervenes and places the same soul in a cocoon of mind body complex. Ashtavakra says, stop thinking about the body, just think about the soul and the super soul and take a vibration from the two. Because they are spiritual, so their intelligence is sublime. whereas the causal intelligence is material. We should remember this and abide by the self so that we become sublime, blissful, happy, contented, and spiritual. Kindly let me know what you think of my talk on this subject. If you sincerely believe that what I am telling is a fact, then please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that I can keep informing you of my other videos. Please pardon me for any error, mistake, or blunder in my appearance, spelling, grammar, diction, etc. Because when I am talking to you on sublime spiritual or material matters, I tend to ignore these frivolous things. Till we meet in my next video, it is good evening from TSV Raghavan.